Hello everyone, Onlydraven here again, and today we're doing another tutorial in Minecraft All the Mods 8. Today we're going to be looking again at the Productive Bees mod. Specifically, I'm going to show how to make a bee spawn egg using the gene indexer and the bottler. So this process is basically turning bees that you have bred from certain types of bees or made from converting bees into a spawn egg of that bee's type, which you need to do to make a lot more of the advanced bees. Now, if you find this video helpful and you like it, please be sure to click like. But most importantly, please remember to hit that subscribe button so that way you can see all my videos and tutorials as they come out. All right. So a couple things we're going to need today. We're going to need ourselves a bottler. And a bottler is going to be 7 iron ingots, 1 smooth stone slab, and 1 piece of glass. We're also going to need one of the 3 different centrifuges. And I normally use the powered centrifuge, which is the middle of the 2. To make that, you're going to need a regular centrifuge, 2 iron ingots, 4 redstone, and 2 basic control circuits. Now, if you're not familiar with how to make a basic centrifuge, that one is just going to be 7 iron ingots and a grindstone, or a grindstone with a cauldron. Either one of those will make you the base level centrifuge, which will work as well. It's just a lot slower. And then last, we're going to use a gene indexer, which is going to be 7 iron ingots, a crafting table, and a redstone comparator. We're also going to need, since we're using the powered version of that, a RF power source. I'm going to be using a creative energy battery from the Integrated Dynamics mod. You can use any RF source, so windmills, generators, reactors, whatever your RF source is will work just fine. So we're going to grab those 3 components. We're also going to grab levers, pistons. For our power, we're going to take an energy pipe and pipe wrench. Okay, and that's going to get us started. So let's go ahead. The only one of these 3 things that needs power is going to be the powered centrifuge. So we're going to get that one started first by using our pipe, making sure that it's pulling power from our RF source. You can see that now has power. Now the gene indexer does not have to have power at all. If you click on it, it looks like just a big empty spot. And then the last thing, which is the bottler itself, that one needs a little bit of construction. So let's show you what we're talking about. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to use a bottler to squish a bee in order to get some bee goop. That's not the official name. We'll see the official name in a minute. But that stuff is what we're going to use to turn into a bee into a bee spawn egg. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and set 3 blocks here. And then a 4th one should be fine. Get rid of that. And then we're going to put a piston facing down. Okay? So that's the important block right there. Now I like, for lever purposes, because we're going to need a lever, we're going to put that up there. So as you can see, now we've basically created a little squisher here, right? By clicking our lever, that's going to make the piston go down and squish whatever's in there. Now, we don't want our bee to escape while we're putting him in there. It does take a second for the bee to basically settle, if you will, when you place it down, and you don't want him flying away before you get a chance to squish him. So for that, what I like to do is I like to use a door. So if we go ahead here and I put the door down, put that back. So now, if we put the bee in and close the door, there's nowhere for the bee to go. He's stuck inside of there. I can squish the bee, pull him back out again. Okay? So that's all of those basic components. Now, next, we're going to need some empty bottles. Now, the empty bottles go inside the bottler, which I forgot to put down. Whoops. Bottler, bottler, bottler. There it is. Bottler goes on the bottom. All that, and I forgot the bottler. The bottler, again, does not need power. We're just going to go ahead and put the glass bottle in here. And what's going to happen is, when we squish the bee goop is going to be put into a bottle by this block right down here, the bottler. Okay? Excellent. So, now to do this, we're going to need some bees. So I've went and made a bunch of iron bees. You can do this with pretty much any bee that's in this mod pack. And we're going to take ourselves at least, I like to have at least 5 or 6 to make a spawn egg. You'll see why here in a moment. So I'm going to open this up, put a bee inside and close the door, and hopefully he's stuck in there. He is. Okay? I'm going to pull down the bottler, and it squished him, and now I have a smashed bee material. Occasionally you'll get some essence as well if you need it. But I have a squashed bee material. And that is what I'm looking for. I need those. Because we're going to take that and we're going to put it inside of our centrifuge. Or powered centrifuge, whichever of the centrifuges you're using. Now this is going to convert that into 6 different types of genes. So there's gene samples for productivity, weather tolerance, behavior, endurance, and temper. All of these are these first 5, all of them except the pink one. These first 5 are ways to make the bees more productive or be immune to different weathers. We're going to look a lot more into genes in a future one. The only one we're really looking for is the pink one. And you'll see it says productive bees iron 14%. This is the one we need to make the bee spawn eggs. So I'm going to take the rest of those out, and because I don't actually need them, we'll go ahead and just chunk those. As many of them as we can. Let me get rid of that. You know what? Let's grab ourselves a trash can. That'll make that a little bit easier. So then I can just drop the genes in there I don't need. Okay. So once I've done that, I have 14%. Now this means with 14%, there's a chance that I'm going to be able to get this 14% chance to create an iron bee spawn egg. I want to increase that chance. I want more than 14. So we're going to do this a couple of times. We'll go over here, put that inside, and while that's going on, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do another one. I like to do 5. Normally within 5 or 6 bees. Oh, sometimes the little bottle will kick out the back here. There are ways to automate the collection of this as well. All right, we'll pull all those out. Pink one's the only one I care about. Put that in again. Do another one. Pink one's the only one I care about. Get the rest out of the way. Put that in there. And we can clear out all of those. Now, once I have these, the gene indexer, what it does is it actually will combine gene types of the same. Now, it's not going to do it just by putting them in there. You're going to need a redstone source. So a lever is usually what I do. Go over here, slap that on top. And by putting that on, you'll see that it's now combined all 3 of those genes into one that's now worth 60%. Now, I could take all of the genes I'm collecting and do that in here, and it'll do it with all of them. See, it combined it. Now I'm at 94%. Now I'm going to shoot for the stars and try to get 100% exactly. So as long as I get at least 6% out of this iron bee. Where'd that little pink bottle go? There it is. Put that in there. As long as this one gives us a minimum of 6%, which it should, we got 14, I can then put it in here, and it's going to combine those, as well as it's combining the other colored ones as well. And now we have a 100%. 100% is the highest that you can have. Now that I have that, what I need is I'm going to need an egg, just a regular everyday egg, and I'm also going to need a honey treat. Okay, so if you're not familiar with how to make a honey treat, let's go ahead and pull that up here for you. So honey treat is, let me grab it, is just going to be a couple of recipes. Primarily the easiest one is a honeycomb and a honey bottle. You can also use gene samples, but that's a waste. Or if you have a ton of honey, you can just do it this way. But usually I just make them out of a honey bottle and honeycomb. Now, once I have these things, I'm going to go into a crafting table. Let's grab one of those, which I had in here. No, I did. Crafting table. Here we go. All right, so what we're going to do here, I grabbed a honeycomb by accident. I need a honey treat. Let me grab the right one here. Honey treat. There we go. So you're going to combine your gene sample with a honey treat, and that's going to give you a honey treat with 100% iron right there. See that one? Okay. Now, the last thing to finish up this process is we're going to need to use one more machine. It's also from the Productive Bees mod. And that's going to be the incubator. Now, if you're not sure how to use the incubator, I've done a whole tutorial on how to use that. You'll see a little bit of it here as well, but it is something that I have a tutorial that I will link down in the description of this one if you need to see how it works. So it does need an RF power source, so we're going to connect that again. And here in our bee incubator, we're going to go ahead and put a honey treat with our 100% at the bottom, and then we're going to put our egg in the left-hand side. Now, this is going to slowly start to convert this into the spawn egg that we're looking for. So you see, it's a slow process. What we're going to do is we'll add a couple speed upgrades. Grab a couple of those to speed this process up a smidge. There we go. And while that's doing that, if you're unfamiliar with how to make the incubator, you'll see the recipe for that is going to be 7 iron ingots, 1 hay bale, and 1 daylight detector. So again, not real hard, pretty easy to get put together. And once it completes its process, you'll see that we now have an iron bee spawn egg. Now, the real reason that you have the spawn egg is obviously not to get an iron bee. I just killed like 5 or 6 bees to get 1 bee egg. So trading 5 or 6 iron bees for 1 iron bee is not going to be that useful. But the reason you want to have that is that the iron bee is one of the, this one here specifically, is one of the more common ones you use to turn into other types of bees. So to make a mana steel bee, you have to have an iron bee spawn egg. To make a drenched iron bee, you have to have an iron bee spawn egg. So many of the harder to get bees are going to require you to have a spawn egg of a different type of bee. Most commonly, I find, are going to be iron, diamond, gold, or those are probably the big 3 that I use the most. A lot of diamond. So iron and diamond, and then a bunch of gold. So others as well, but those are the most common. So once you start making the spawn eggs, you're then going to be able to go ahead and use those in the recipes to make the more advanced bees for your collection. But that's really all there is to it. Again, you can just go ahead and squish your bees up, put your bee juice inside your centrifuge. That goes inside of a gene indexer, which will combine things. You can combine them manually if you don't want to use an indexer. You can just combine the different gene samples, the pink ones, in your own crafting table, and they'll add up to the 100% eventually as well. You don't have to have a full 100%, but if you're using less than that, there is a chance that it will fail and you'll just get a regular bee egg. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this one here. This one's a little bit more in-depth because it's a process that if you're using productive bees, you're going to get into using a lot in the later and harder to get bees. Very often, when you get to the most extreme ones, you're going to need 5 or 6 different types of bee spawn eggs in order to make them. So producing or breeding a bunch of one type of bee and then squishing it to get the spawn egg is going to be a requirement if you're hoping to make them all. Well, if you have any questions about this tutorial or any of my tutorials, please be sure to put that down in the description area of this stream, down in the comments, and I will do my very best to get back with you as quickly as I can, as well as any recommendations or suggestions you may have for other tutorials you'd like to see in All the Mods 8. I'm always looking for new ideas. You can also go to my website, Onlydraven.com. And there at the bottom of the homepage is a place that you can submit emails to me directly if you want to send in questions or recommendations or suggestions. I'm happy to get them that way as well. While you're there, you'll also find links to my streaming schedule, the ODG store, and a bunch of other resources. Highly recommend checking out the website. A lot of great stuff there. But that is going to do me for today. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.